It's already happening. Yeah. Cold open. Fuck it.
Oh, well, here we
Cold
are.
open. Yeah, it's
We're
happening
here.
already. Hey guys, it's the GrubCast. I'm the GrubCast. He's the
Rubbing it up.
GrubCast.
Yeah.
I'm Molten. I'm your host. He's also your host. That's ET. Say hi, ET.
Hello, E.T.
That's not what I meant. Hey everybody. Today, I begin my siphoning the Homestuck fan base of all clout and fame. It will all be me. I will become Joe Rogan, but like not a Nazi, and like about a really niche comic product that no one really cares about anymore. Thoughts?
What's your first conspiracy theory?
Fun fact, class specs are not real.
Oh, shit.
They're not even the flat class spec theory. So here's the play. This is a Homestuck book club podcast. We're all going to read through Homestuck, and it's going to be great. I have read Homestuck many times, like 3 or 4. I've written a paper on it for high school. It was pretty cringe, but I've been around the block when it comes to Homestuck, at least compared to E.T., who, E.T., you've not read Homestuck at all.
Not once.
Not at all.
You were the first person to really, give me any kind of interest in it.
Exactly. So we're going to rectify this on air for you, the listener. As we're going to sit down, we're going to read through the entire comic in one episode. I'm just going to pour 8,000 pages into his brain. And so that's what this is going to be, is we're going to read through the comic together. For this very first episode, we have read through pages 1 through 247, that being Act 1 of Homestuck, just in its entirety. Now, E.T., I want to point this out to you, because you may be under the misconception that Act 1 of Homestuck, in a story with 7 acts, would mean that you are approximately 1/7 of the way through Homestuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be the classical understanding.
Wrong. Incorrect. I can't believe you would think such a false thing. You're like maybe 1/40th of the way through. Like we're fucking nowhere. Like I need you to understand. Act 6 in its entirety, which should be 1/7 of the comic, is like half of it. You're not even prepared for what's gonna fucking show up later on. And how insane things start. But they start out pretty insane.
Yeah. The first act is already bonkers.
The third panel is 13-year-old child, defecate on your furniture. Do that.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Wouldn't that be so sick if you just shit on your desk?
I know, it seems like the dumbest idea you've ever had, but the polished surface of your desk.
It beckons. It beckons to you. And that just goes ahead to the first thing I want to talk about, which is that, Homestuck's funny as shit.
Oh yeah,
it's very funny.
Very well written comedically, I feel like.
Hussey has such a distinct prose that we're just getting straight. Hold on, let's get some context here. This came out in 2009. Mm-hmm. First page, 2009, April 13th, 2009, which is like a very important number. If you probably would have seen it in Act 1 a little bit. Like if you look the unsecured network that Rose connects to has 413 in it. Yeah, it's John's birthday, but the reason why it's John's birthday is because it is the release date of the comic. John did not exist before the comic started. Mm-hmm. So you'll start to see 413 popping up in a bunch of different places. It's a really important number in the community. So just keep an eye out for that lovely 413. Yeah. It was created in not actually MS Paint, I don't think. I think it was made in Photoshop for the most part, because Photoshop can export as GIFs. And it's obviously presented in the style of like a text point-and-click adventure game. Yeah. And something that I need to make very clear, because I'm sure you noticed through the kind of like eclectic nature of what John decides to do at any given moment. This comic, up until I think like halfway through Act 4, is entirely written, like it's written by Hussey, but Hussey's pages, those prompts at the bottom of the page that like are the links to the next page, those were user submitted. The MSPA forums, which was like Hussey's forum for MSPA, MS Paint Adventures, which was his website, they would actively put in these commands, like what they want John to do, and then Hussey would pick one and then draw that panel. So part of why John and Rose and some of these other characters that you haven't met yet, part of why they're so well defined is because you are learning about these characters and like they are reacting to things that the audience actually wanted to know. They would type in, they would go typey, Mr. Hussey, tell me about how John feels about feces on his furniture. Yeah. And then he would tell you, which is that it beckons to him.
He has an obsession with fecal matter.
It's crucial to his character. And that was a big part of it. And that just kind of goes straight into like that synergizes so well with, imagine if you're a reader and you're putting in these commands, you are now interacting with the insane fucking inventory system.
Yes, man. What is it called? Capture logs?
Capture logging items.
Yeah. They're all based on like programming data structures, but they're like a real world mechanic that like affects reality for them. So I just don't quite about that. Yeah, I don't quite get if like they're in a game already. Like if John as a character is in a game and is playing the game Spurb in that game, because like they have mechanics that aren't real world things, and that doesn't quite make sense to me. So
the way Hussey describes Act 1 of Homestuck is that like the first half of Act 1 is a tutorial for Homestuck, and the second half of Act 1 is a tutorial for Spurb. The stuff like capture logging and Silodexes and all that is just the world John lives in. Okay. It's just the world John lives in is governed by like weird game-esque mechanics, but that is just reality for them.
Yeah.
It is not Spurb. Spurb is its own thing that brings a whole set of new mechanics to the table, but capture logging and Silodexes and fetch modi, that's just a fact of life. That's just me and you fucking walking down the street going to get some food at the gas station. Except that now whenever we try and get a hamburger, then like it throws my wallet out of my pocket like onto the street in the middle of the road.
Life is literally hell for them.
It's so good. Seeing John endlessly toil over his inventory is incredible.
It brings him to such like mental anguish that he has to play a haunting refrain on the piano. Oh,
the haunting refrain! It sounds so good. Yeah,
it's a beautiful piece.
I don't know if that's an omen or if that's a response to the horrible torture he's being put through. But either way, it is great, and that is, I think, the first page with sound on it in the comic is the first Flash animation, if you don't count the Homestuck beta. Which, did you read through those like 7 or 8 pages?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was weird and like smoothly animated, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? The Homestuck beta it came out, as far as I know, before the comic started, because originally Hussey was planning to do the entire comic in Flash, and it proved to be too much. Which, thank fucking Christ, because Flash shut down. Could you imagine the state we would be in? Speaking of reading Homestuck, in a post Flash world, hey guys, Viz Media sucks. E.T., you will slowly come to understand this more and more and more over the course of as we deal with Homestuck and extended Homestuck media. Viz Media, the people that own every anime and manga in the world, they also own Homestuck now. And they have left us to fucking rot and die. In post-Flash, there have been some attempts to make the comic like preserved, but they're pretty pitiful. So we are using the unofficial Homestuck collection, which you can find by looking that in your Google search bar. You fucking lazy bitch.
I think it's typhus.
Typhus is the... Oh yeah, I want to talk about that. How they come up with like their own in-universe alternatives for like chat clients and stuff.
Pester Chum.
Pester Chum is such a good... Did you see the Pester Chum statuses?
Yeah. Bully. Rancorous.
Rancorous is... I would be rancorous constantly. Absolutely.
That's a big schmood.
Oh man, in these like early couple pages, like what struck you the most about... Like what's the difference between what you got and what you were expecting?
Well, honestly, it looks very unlike most comics I've seen, even like webcomic. So I wasn't really expecting much. I was like just trying to go in very like, I'm not going to be able to guess what this is. All I know about this world is that it's too complex and out of here to like really piece together. So I'm just going to try to go in blind, take the information as it comes. And I was like, all right, so... How we're gonna, John's the guy, Poop Lord, Zeus Smell Poop Lord. He's a pretty cool guy.
He's a very cool guy.
I like that he seems to be like the perfect embodiment of like internet nerd culture. Like he like loves shitty movies and
It's important to point out, unironically.
Yeah.
He loves fucking Con Air. He loves it.
Shitty movies. Like that is well ingrained into him. He's a amateur magician, but he's not good at it. He's very relatable, I feel like, for the demographic Hussey was like aiming towards, and I imagine what he falls into.
It does very much feel that way of like Hussey understands like what his target audience is. Outside of the fact that John is 13, none of John and his friends talk like 13-year-olds. No. But it still feels very authentic because they sound like they talk like I would imagine 13-year-olds would if they had that level of vocabulary.
Yeah.
Because they're all very, very silly. You get to see a little bit of Rose's silliness. I think a little more in Act 2. You don't get to see much of her in Act 1, and we haven't even seen...
She's like came around the end there.
Yeah, at the end there, but she's more important in Act 2, along with Red Text, who you don't know yet.
Godhead.
Turntech Godhead. And I believe
he's
saw...
my favorite thus far.
He's so fucking funny. It is important, I talked about it yesterday for you, it's important to talk about that the first line of dialogue in all of Homestuck is when John opens up Pester Chum, it is Turntech Godhead. So what kind of sweet loot did you rake in, yo?
Bro.
Incredible. Absolutely fucking incredible. Dialogue in this is so funny.
Yeah.
They have so much personality that they're pouring into these chat clients. And they just reference a bunch of like weird shit. Like I think in that first conversation they start to reference like Howie Mandel Little Monsters, which I did actually see as a kid. So seeing that in Homestuck was...
Are you telling me you think there's piss in my apple juice? Someone pissed in it at the factory?
Yeah, and resealed it. It's like anything's possible, man. It's such a... I love these kids' personalities coming out, and let's not cut that at I love these kids. Let's keep that in context.
Yeah, no one clipped that.
Yeah, no one clipped that. It's a good thing only like 2 people are listening to this, so my reputation is safe for now.
It's probably just us.
It could just be us and like... my friends, and I don't know, like 3 people from the Homestuck subreddit after I put this there. I don't know. How many people like care about Homestuck in 2022?
Yeah.
I don't think there's that many.
Oh yeah.
People it's fallen off quite a bit. I think there is a like fan flash that someone made that has more views than the ending of Homestuck does. It's Homestuck is a very long journey, and a lot of people fell off near the end because of some pretty long Steven Universe-esque hiatuses. But it's important to note that right now, in the early sections of this, these panels were coming out fucking day after day, like 2 a day, 3 a day. And this kind of goes back to what you were talking about how the art is so unique. The art is very replicable.
Yeah.
It's very easy for Hussey to, just kind of move John around in an environment that he's already made, to pump out new pages in a way that still looks cohesive and doesn't necessarily seem very lazy, because it's presented like a video game. Like his avatar is moving around in an environment, and it looks really nice. Yeah,
no, I think it's a very simplistic style, but I feel like it works well. I think he uses it pretty to his advantage.
It's pretty great, especially the fact that none of them have arms, and that makes the art terrible. I can't believe Hussey would draw his characters with no arms, which is why John needs to go grab new arms with his arms. John's chest is so good. He has
fake arms, stunt sword. Trick handcuffs.
The stunt sword does not matter. I completely forgot that was in there. The trick handcuffs only kind of matter. The smoke pellets, they get the clutch. They get the clutch win on Dad.
I think it's weird that like the first thing he says when he so at the end of the boss fight with his dad.
Hold on, we're jumping ahead. We're jumping ahead crazy.
Yeah, but I feel like we haven't really been like coherently like following a story.
We're kind of following it.
All right, where are we at? What's happening now?
I don't remember where this is. I think it's just near the beginning. I just wrote down the quote from, "In a kid's yard, a tree without a tire swing is like a proper gentleman without a monocle." Yes. That is to say, he can hardly be considered a terribly proper gentleman at all.
I love Andrew's prose.
There you go.
His he goes through these long-winded like poetic prose over literally nothing. Like it'll be some like very like simple shit, but he'll phrase it so beautifully that you're kind of like hooked in. But he does that, specifically that analogy again when he finds John's father's like second of a billion pipes.
Oh my god, you're right.
Like, a father without a pipe is like a roughneck without a toothpick. A fucking poor excuse for a roughneck.
He's a piss poor excuse for a roughneck, isn't he? Homestuck is very self-referential. It references itself a lot. It sets up jokes that have payoffs way later on. Yeah, fuck it. I guess you're right. We'll go through very loosely chronologically, but listen, guys. Let's be honest. All of you have read this anyway, and if you haven't, you fucking should.
This is not the place.
How dare you?
I think you should go through the experience of reading it yourself, not really.
I disagree. I'm going to be keeping it as spoiler free as I can, but you should definitely have read the pages before you listen to this. If you haven't, what the fuck? Yeah, we'll keep it loosely chronological, but yeah, there's jokes that have very long payoffs later on with the Colonel sprite that's kind of floating around.
Yeah.
Like when he's up on the thing, you get one of my favorite lines, which is he gives him a high five and he goes, "You guys, you've left him hanging long enough," because he's just been sitting there for pages and pages and pages at this point with his hand out, and I love that so much. There's lots of setups like that just have extended periods of time before they ever get any resolution, and this will be a running theme moving forward. Do you have notes? Do you want me to just keep going through mine?
I have notes, but you seem to be covering.
Hit me with one of your notes, ET.
All right.
Show me what you got.
Strange analogies, capsulogues, John's obsession with shitting, John being the perfect nerd kid. The perspective shifts in the writing. Like, they'll go from, you are John, and telling you the story from his perspective, and then being like, all right, you watch John wander through whatever the heck.
There is a distinction between John and you, despite the fact that the story is written in second person.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't really a spoiler for Homestuck, because it's kind of in some of his other writings as well, stuff like Problem Sleuth, Bard Quest, Jailbreak, like his previous comics, where the MS Paint Adventures reader is a like entity that represents you. So, like, simultaneously it is told from this perspective of you being John and you, the reader, being a watcher of John. And it definitely is very interesting. I'm going to keep my whore mouth shut because...
that becomes prevalent later.
Becomes a little important. It just becomes a little important, guys. You may start to recognize a common theme in this podcast of me going, ooh, I wonder if that'll be relevant later. Whoa. And when that happens, I'm 100% telling the truth, and I would never be in any way foreshadowing future events to any extent. I would never do that. What you talked about before about how the language is very, like, flowery, I think it's clear that Hussey is, like, an actual writer.
Oh, yeah.
Hussey has such, like, distinct vocabulary. And he can use it when he wants to. Like, it's very funny, and then there's a couple times where he gets serious with it. I don't know if it's the first Big Flash. I can't remember if it's before or after he fights his dad, but where it's like his neighborhood and it's like panning out with the atmospheric wind ASMR 10-hour version.
Yeah.
And I wrote down a little excerpt from that as well, which is it is your 13th birthday, and as with all 12 preceding it, something feels missing from your life. The game presently eluding you is only the latest sleight of hand in the repertoire of an unseen riddler, one to engender a sense not of mirth, but of lack. He has a very great... He knows when to pull it back and go, all right, it's time to talk about it seriously. In this case, it kind of shows John as like this like Luke Skywalker figure of like, you know, he's happy with his life, but he yearns
missing.
For more.
He's not sure what that is, but he wants to find it.
There's a sense of adventure, maybe. Adventure. Wait, so.
I got my notes. The what is it? The hammer kind.
Strife specify.
Yeah, he sticks his hammer in there, and now it's permanently affixed to hammer kind.
It's worth noting because I think it happens in this one. You can't have multiple strife specify. He does because he
makes it like a different hammer,
like a Harlequin. He becomes like a Harlequin kind. I think at one point. I don't remember exactly. He does put something else in his strife specibus, which was what leads to the incredible line of like, you allocate this to your strife specibus. You're glad not everything has to be a federal fucking issue. because John is, you know, inventory has just been terrorizing him this whole time. And he's just so happy that there was one interaction with his inventory that he could just fucking do. He didn't need to worry about it.
Honestly, that's been the main villain of this arc.
Yeah, the main villain of Homestuck Act 1 is just like the mechanics of the world of Homestuck that they're just all fighting. Oh my god. It's worth noting they portray the time period of 2009 like it's dripping with personality from that. Like the fact that John uses his dad like PDA,
Yeah, he's deputy.
And he has like a gaming magazine.
Grimer or Slimer from Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Ghostbusters keeps coming back. John loves fucking Ghostbusters.
He got the shirt. It's his desktop.
So
like,
yeah,
my man is obsessed.
They specified that John made that desktop background himself.
By himself.
Oh man,
and he's not that good at computer programming.
No, he's not. So that's I think that's why Turn Tech Godhead tells him to quote bone up on data structures later on. I think the reason why like data structure is so important is that I think Hussey was a like computer science student.
It for sure gives that vibe of this is like something he was embedded in. Like I feel like this is such a like niche thing that no one would really know about it unless they had done some sort of programming. That like combined with the like 90s gamer energy that this I mean the fact that he has a physical video game magazine is great. Did you read the Game Bro magazine? Game Bro, oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna give it 1.5 hats to keep it real. It's so fucking good. I love Game Bro. I want Game Bro to be a real magazine that I can read. Someone should put that out. Oh my god, I would love to fucking... Maybe we can write Game Bro. Me and you can write Game Bro ourselves. We just gotta sound like the most like douchey frat boy. Just... Oh man. Yo, it's me, Game Bro. How's it going? What's up, bros? Do you think the Game Bro is like the Game Boy's like older cousin? like there is a console named the Game Bro in Homestuck that someone makes. I mean, like, let's see, hold on. So this is 2009. So this is post Nintendo DS, right? Do you think the Nintendo DS is the Game Bro? The Game Bro. Yeah. That was the original name. The Game Boy has grown up into an advanced boy. You know, that's the the growth pattern of human beings is that you're a baby and then a boy and then an advanced boy and then you're a bro as you're old enough that your parents have created more children. I want to point this out. It's so at this point it's very clear. Homestuck is a story that can only possibly exist on the internet. You cannot get this in any other way. And I don't just mean in like the form of like GIFs and animation, which I do mean that. Yeah. But also like it will become clear over the course of as you find out more about Spurb. But this is a story that could only happen with like online friends. It is about internet friends. It's something that like it's the story as it functions like wouldn't really be possible without the interaction of these friends being through the internet. Like the idea of like the server client relationship kind of requires that. Thoughts about Spurb? How do you feel about Spurb as a game? About Spurb? So as I was reading it, I was like, wait, so this game it makes more sense now because you were talking about how like their life is kind of like controlled by game mechanics anyway, that no one really batted an eye to this. But when I think it was Tentacle Therapist Rose, she moves like an area of his room and like adds a spec to his house, and I was like, these games alter reality. They can alter his physical reality. And Game Bro gave it a 1.5. Well, if you read the thing, if you recognize Game Bro didn't play it. Oh yeah, yeah. He didn't play the game. Sitting on my desk. He just got it, and then he was like, "I don't want to fucking man. Elden Ring just came out. I gotta review that. I don't want to deal with this shit, bro." Let's date that episode real quick. Yeah, hey guys, Elden Ring just came out. Me and E.T. have no maidens at all, and neither does John, and he will remain as such. Yeah, Game Bro did not play it. A lot of other people are going to play this game, though. If you saw on... How? The world ended. Yeah, but a lot of people played the game, if you remember. Oh, yeah, I guess a lot of people played it. Like, it's a publicly released game, and specifically, I want you to keep an eye on... did you read the Serious Business app when he got his thing? Did you see Fedora Freak in that? I can't remember. One of the users... I believe one of them was Fedora Freak, but all I really remember was like they were like super hard about like this tie incident, and they were like, "Oh well, I would suggest moving the coffee pot or the hat rack." Yeah, yeah, they're very. It's very serious business on Serious Business. Can I get photos of the incident? That's just like dad's like weird business friends. But Fedora Freak. Every once in a while, you do get to see the Serious Business app before John opens up Pester Chum. Okay. Keep an eye on our pal Fedora Freak.
He's a national hero.
National hero?
National hero. Absolute legend. And I love him in real life, and I want him to be my dad.
Speaking of dads, what's with all the parents and their weird obsessions with, like, the oddest
I'm glad you brought that
things?
up. Some of them matter. Like
how John...
Rose's mom's obsession with wizards is important, like 4,000 or 5,000 pages from now.
Okay.
So just, put a pin in that. You're gonna get used to hearing this. Oh, that's important. Like a couple thousand pages down the line.
Years from now, that'll matter.
Yeah, like in like a year, you'll figure out what that is. But John's dad's a weird obsession with clowns. They're just fucking everywhere. Harlequins. My bad. All right, yeah, let's keep this grounded in reality. Harlequins. I'm sorry.
Important distinction.
They do have both some bearing on the plot and some importance in characterization, but they're not quite as... Dad is dad. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
He just is himself. Like, I don't...
Just a weird man that loves
He's just
baking.
a weird guy. He loves... Well, I want to touch on this. Homestuck is so nice. Everyone's so nice in Homestuck. It's so great. And, like, this weird, like, interpretation of his dad that John has. Where, like,
yes.
if, by any metric, like, if you look at John's dad, he's so great. He's so
like, just
nice.
A really sweet guy.
He's baking John sweets for his birthday, going out and grabbing his presents.
So many cakes.
So many fucking cakes.
I think a bit too much. Like, that may be a whole problem in itself. But I think the care is there.
There's so much care
like, he means
put in by his dad, and the whole time John's just like, I have to like...
I will hit you with a hammer.
He hits his dad in the fucking face with that hammer.
Like,
he winds up. He smashes that shit in. Oh my god, that flash is so fucking good. S Strife is so good. The music is incredible. It's just that chip tune. Is that Michael Guy Bowman? I don't remember. It starts with an M. Toby Fox is the one everyone knows, but he doesn't come in until like a lot fucking later for Homestuck music. But I do want to point out the music in that scene. Homestuck plays with leitmotifs a lot, similar to Undertale. Small indie game. I'm sure none of you have ever heard of.
None of you probably heard of it.
Yeah,
it's a little too hipster.
I'd check it out if I were you. Just it's a little on the down low. But Homestuck plays with leitmotifs in a very similar way. But did you notice you mentioned the haunting piano refrain earlier? Mm-hmm. That and the theme where he fights his dad. The song is called Showtime. They're the same.
Really?
Yeah, they're the same song.
Huh.
Go back and listen to it again once we're done. It is the same motif. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
It's pretty fucking sick, bro. Homestuck, bro. I fucking love Homestuck. God, it's so... The moment to moment of just reading Homestuck is so fucking entertaining. There's so much personality that's just bursting from every scene.
And I feel like you never can expect truly what's going to happen next. Like...
It's so fucking out there.
Anything could happen. He may want to shit in his mailbox to leave the mailman a surprise.
I'd be surprised if I was that mailman.
Yeah, I'd be shocked.
I think that would be... I think his prankster's gambit would go up to unheard of heights if he shit in his mailbox. Oh my god. The prankster's gambit is such a weird system that like doesn't really show up again. Like this strange like metric in universe for how good you are at japery and tricks. We'll read some Colonel Sassacres. We'll bone up on Trickster's Gambit.
The first thing John says, or maybe it's the narrator that says this, when he finds the book, is like, man, this thing is huge. I could kill a cat if I dropped it. Which feels like a weird jump to me.
Far-reaching plot implications.
No way.
I'm fucking serious, bro.
No way.
The Colonel Sassacres, like, being a blunt instrument is very important.
He used it on the smoke pellets?
Oh, yeah, he used it on the smoke pellets. The smoke pellets, I mean, they were cool. They were smoke, and then he got away from his dad, and he was like, fuck you, Dad. I got my...
Fuck my dad.
I like how they built so much time building up his clever disguise.
Yeah.
And as soon as his dad sees it, he's like, dog, what the fuck are you doing? That's just... Also, that's my pipe. Can I have it back? I don't want to touch that with my mouth anymore because my kid has it. I'm not Tom Brady. I'm just like normal dad.
He's gonna cancel us.
I do want to point out, reading it in the unofficial Homestuck collection, that link where it had like clever disguise, it just shows you like a image of like a beagle, whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
You know, in the original website, it shows you a like Google search for Beagle Puss, which is like the name of that like weird like nose, glasses, mustache thing, and it's just like all Homestuck now. Like Homestuck has completely taken over like that thing, which kind of is the case for a lot of things. Did they reference Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff yet, or is that in second act? That might be in act 2.
Yeah,
when we get to Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff, we're gonna have some fucking words about how great Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff is.
Are those characters?
Yeah.
That's a weird amount of hestation to that question.
Yeah, I mean, kinda. In a way,
character.
They do become important a little bit, but they're also just very funny. But Homestuck is so like iconic. There are panels of Homestuck that are so iconic. They have like created memes out of things. Like I don't think Con Air was as much of a meme as it was until like Hussey just puts like weird references to put the bunny back in the box in Homestuck, which is incredible. Oh my fucking god! I put that motherfucking bunny back in the box.
Back in the box.
Yeah, do that shit, and that will also be referenced constantly, which Homestuck continues to do. Wait till we get to the Cosby Top computer, which I do want to point out. John does have a poster of Bill Cosby's ghost dad in his room, which I did some digging. I was wondering if this is before and after it was common knowledge. I think the first instance of Bill Cosby, I think the first instance of that was in like 2002. But I don't know if it was widespread, so it's a little up in the air. But it is possible that Hussey was aware of this and decided to make him talk about how great Bill Cosby is, like in universe, like after this was already known. It's unclear as far as I'm aware. For some context, people, when I say I've quote been around the block for Homestuck, I have read it a lot of times. But when I started reading it, it was almost over. I was never really like around during its run, as some other people were. Because I'm a small little baby boy, and so is E.T., but to a lesser extent.
I'm a little less small.
He's a little less small, and by that I mean he's like a head and a half taller than me. He's a fucking giant. He is Dad, and I am John Egbert. I am John Egbert in real life. I have no arms. Oh God, please help me.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Can I talk about like John's dad being super nice? He gets him like this massive fucking Harlequin.
Yeah, which to him was probably like a really good gift. Like he.
Yeah, I do want to point out in the midst of some Siladex shenanigans, John does maim the Harlequin doll.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
like kind of cuts off his arm, like
Looks
scrapes
like a
his eye
shard.
a bit. This has far-reaching plot implications. Please keep an eye on that.
I was really upset when Rose fused it with the command thing, or
the Colonel Sprite.
Yes, Colonel Sprite. When they fused together, I was like, man, this is gonna become like an evil monster. John hates Harlequins. This is bad.
Yeah, he fucking hates Harlequins. But no, it's just kind of like floats around and like talks and like fucking
in gibberish, I guess.
Like weird wingdings. Like I don't think it's actually wingdings. He talks in a weird fucking Sprite. Yo, Colonel Sprite is W.D. Gaster. Oh my god! Yes,
the connection.
Homestuck is Deltarune Chapter 3. Like fucking 15 years before that happened.
Past, yeah.
Retroactively, he stole Deltarune and put it in his comic. Just you wait.
They have such an unhealthy relationship, John and his dad.
I disagree. I think
you think so?
No, I think Homestuck's very like lighthearted about stuff like this. Like he's just like a weird. You know, he's 13. He's starting to become a teenager. He's like in a weird rebellious phase where he's like reading his dad's intentions as like weird and like what a fuck. Like he loves his dad, but he's just like what a fucking weirdo my dad is. Oh, he's so weird and cringe. And his dad's like trying to bake him cakes and stuff, and it's super cute.
He says, John says that while he's looking at the burning Game Bro in the fireplace, he says, man, sometimes I pray for burglars while thinking about his dad.
That's very funny.
He's like, man, sometimes I just wish someone would break in and just fucking wreck his shit. Like,
I thought that was just about them taking the Harlequins.
okay.
He just doesn't want the Harlequins in his house.
That would make sense. But he does literally fight his dad with a hammer, which I think at the very least is like...
Kind of, but I still think, keep in mind that we're ascribing real world consequences to what is like a video game
universe.
Like they are governed by like video game abstractions.
So just a disagreement could lead to a encounter.
Like strife is not a literal representation of what is happening necessarily. You know, there are some strifes later with like choreography that are meant to be more like literally seen, but it's kind of like weird. It's an endless loop of attacks and defenses with some banger fucking music.
Yeah, what boss ass soundtrack.
But yeah, like it very clearly plays it off like you're in an RPG battle, right? Like it's not. Homestuck doesn't take a lot of these things very seriously.
Heavy, yeah.
Until later.
Then everything matters.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in also like fucking 7,000 pages.
So when I was like reading through as like just a conjecture I made out of absolutely nowhere, I was like, man, what if John's dad is actually I heard you use this name for the main bad guy before, what if he's Dr. Scratch the whole time?
Oh fuck. I forgot that you have... He does have some slight spoilers, people. You don't know anything about Doc Scratch.
Yeah, other than that, he is a guy.
He is a guy. He's the fucking coolest guy.
He does something big called the Big Scratch. I don't know what that is or what any of that could mean, but
it's pretty fucking cool, bro.
I assume it's like he like throws a big DJ party with some vinyl and he's like, you know, the Big Scratch.
Yeah, actually.
all the main characters just have a party and that's it.
Kinda.
No way. I'm finished.
You're pretty spot on.
I completely guessed the rest of Homestuck.
Well, don't worry. This is gonna become lore now. Please, one listener, draw us fan art of Doc Scratch throwing a sick DJ party. Even though ET has no idea who that is.
Who that is, or the context of that character.
It's gonna be beautiful. I think we've put it off long enough. We've put it off long enough. Spurb is fucking sick. I want to play Spurb so bad.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty dope.
Even if it means that I die like 5 minutes after I play. I want to play Spurb so fucking bad.
If that summons a meteor and I have to eat a blue apple made of...
It might not be a blue
plutonium.
Apple.
It just looked like
it's made
apple.
out of like Fortnite slurp juice.
Yes.
Or it's just antifreeze. It's just fucking... Or it's Gatorade.
It could.
Or it's delicious blueberry fruit gushers. Who knows?
No, that's the build grist.
Oh, the build grist. Don't worry. Fruit gushers are also majorly plot important.
You say that so often that now I don't know which part of it's a bid.
All of it. No, sorry. I thought you were going to say which parts were important. No, none of it. Every time I've said that, I am 100% serious. Like, I'm not kidding.
I just can't imagine.
Gushers are very important. Or not necessarily gushers, but some other things relating to gushers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Don't worry. We'll get there in like 6,000 pages. It's okay. All will be revealed by our magician Andrew Hussey. Spurb is so fucking cool. And can you imagine all the cool shit you could do with it? My apartment is so fucking small. Doc, I could just build us some chairs. I could just make my apartment really big with Spurb. It'd be awesome.
Honestly, you could just like build a house just anywhere. It seems like
maybe
as long as you have like an internet connection, you could just and end up building grist.
Maybe Spurb is Minecraft.
I could see that. Like I see the similarities.
Imagine playing Minecraft, but it kills you.
Yeah, but also, imagine playing Minecraft, but Enderman is haunting you.
Enderman is Slenderman. Is Homestuck. Oh my god, we found it! Guys, we figured it out. Enderman from Minecraft, who is Notch, by the way, or so I'm told, is also Homestuck.
It was also the entirety of the Homestuck series.
Mr. Homestuck, Enderman.
Please, just call me Indy.
Oh god.
Mr. Homestuck Enderman's my father.
Homestuck in the ink machine. Oh god. What are we fucking doing? What does this come to?
We'll cut that out.
Yeah, we'll cut that out. Editor, which is me, cut that out. So let's talk about some of the mechanics of Spurb. Spurb is very much based around like kind of like alchemy system that you got to see the beginnings of, and I will go on it more in detail later on where they do go more detail into the alchemy system. We do get to see our first kind of piece of it here. These massive fucking machines that Rose places so far away from each other.
Just in the most inconvenient places.
Just the worst fucking spots. What are they? The Cruxtruder.
They look elegant.
They do look very elegant. I like their designs a lot. I would love to paint like a little, like if I could find like 3D printed stuff, I would love to paint like a little Cruxtruder and Totem Lathe and like a little John running around between them. It'd be so cool. Like a little diorama. Yeah. It'd be so cute. Yeah, you have the Cruxtruder, the Totem Lathe, the
Alchemitor?
The Alchemitor, and I think that's all. There is another machine that is shown off later, but it's not in Act 1. And then the pre-punched card. And as soon as the Cruxtruder is opened, you fucked up. You little bitch.
You have 5
We're
minutes
all
till
gonna
death.
die. Yeah, you're all going to die. Which means it's a perfect time to update my walkthrough on GameFAQs.com. Did you read Rose's walkthrough?
Oh god, I didn't read Rose's walkthrough, I don't think.
Really? Is that not in Act 1? Or is that later on?
I think it's in Act 1. I think I just skimmed over that.
Skimmed it, yeah, because it is busy. I will say, these kind of GameFAQs pages aren't that important. Like, their existence is important, but you don't need to read them. Later on, there are some recaps that do clear up some pretty big, like, confusion points. So I would definitely give him a little skim through, give him a light read over time.
Yeah.
But you open up the Cruxtruder, and it pushes out a Cruxite. Is it a Cruxite dowel? Is that what they're called?
I think so.
It's just a big fuck off cylinder.
Yeah.
I don't know if it counts as a dowel. It's not like a stick.
Yeah, I think it's just like a long stick.
Yeah, this is not a dowel. The fuck, Hussy, you hack! You absolute fucking hack! How dare you?
Homestuck.
Garbage. Yeah, get rid of Homestuck. Cancel the TV adaptation. This is a Cruxite cylinder, not a dowel.
When are we getting a live action Homestuck remake?
Live action Homestuck. Who would you cast as John Egbert?
Oh man,
Chris Pratt. Right?
Chris Pratt as John Egbert, and then for Rose, Chris Pratt. And then for Turn Tech Godhead, Chris Pratt. And then we'll have Chris Pratt play the dad.
What if, okay, actually though, John Egbert casting. We're not using child actors because fuck child actors. Okay. So what that means is that in like a normal way, not like a so we're just gonna have like fucking 30-year-old like adults like sitting there being like, yeah, I'm 13. It's my 13th birthday. It's just Benedict Cumberbatch, adult man sitting.
Birthday, finally.
Benedict Cumberbatch. That's a good John Egbert. I think that has John Egbert written all over it.
I feel like he's almost like too stoic. I'm thinking more of like
imagine Nick Cage playing John Egbert in a manner similar to his breakout performance Con Air.
God, that'd be beautiful.
That'd be incredible.
John would love it.
Tom Holland, John Egbert, with Mark Wahlberg, dad, similar to the Uncharted movie in theaters right now. I think that's a great combo.
I'm thinking, what's his name? Elijah Wood.
Yo, I think that's a great pick. That's a great pick for John Egbert. Rose. Good pick for Rose?
I don't know enough of her character. She seems very edgy, so first thing that comes to mind is maybe like a Aubrey Plaza type.
I could see that.
Yeah, I feel like she'd do the role. She's not quite caring enough, but maybe she can like go a bit out for that. I don't know.
You'll learn more about Rose's characterization in Act 2. She's not quite as like kind of stoic as you would believe. She's really fun. I like her a lot.
Okay.
I like all of them a lot. I love all of the characters in Homestuck. They're all so great except for some of them. I don't know. These
And then for Dad, just like a plastic bag. Literally anything with any man with a face.
Yeah, it could be Dad. We could find like the most generic actor possible. Like, I don't fucking know. Oh my god. Tommy Wiseau as Dad Egbert. Incredible pick. So, we were talking about the devices being placed in really inconvenient places. Mm-hmm. There is a bit of a fourth wall, not break, but kind of interesting thing. How like we are seeing John's house from Rose's perspective through his burb. So we have never been able to see John's front door. We have only ever seen a conveniently shaped grid. So I think technically it's reasonable to think that we would not have known, like we the audience would not have known that was John's front door until John says, yo, what the fuck?
You put this in front of my front door.
You put this here. This is it's so unhelpful. Fuck. Okay. We got We got all the machines out of the way. So you open up the extruder. It releases the Cruxite cylinder, and then the fucking scary flashy boy comes out, and Rose puts the clown in it.
He was like, "Just do what you think will work," and she was like, "All right,
here we go." Boom.
Problem solved.
Sentient clown. Still talks in complete gibberish. And then Rose's like internet cuts out at one point.
Oof, yeah.
Which is fucking terrifying.
That was very poorly timed.
Yeah, because now all of a sudden God is going to kill Egbert by throwing an asteroid down from the heavens.
John is like accepting death,
like,
I imagine for like the first serious time in his life, just like kissing his poster.
Yeah, he's kissing his sweet Liv Tyler goodbye.
Oh, God.
This 13-year-old child. Oh, here it is. I have it written down. I can't believe I actually wrote this down. John, tell Liv Tyler you love her before impact. Since your good-for-nothing friend is obviously not going to bail you out in time, you issue words of parting fondness to dear sweet Liv. Oh, if only Affleck could have been the one to make the final sacrifice instead of her stubborn blue-collar, salt-of-the-earth father. Then she would fall into your arms for consolation, and you would be the one to make the deceased Bruce Willis proud. Beautiful.
I love that.
I love John. His inner monologue is so fucking funny.
And the first thing we do as Rose, from like her perspective, is play a haunting refrain on the violin.
I think they literally say like you waste approximately 40 seconds playing like violin while your friend is in brutal danger.
In terrible danger. You waste all this time. But it was a pretty piece.
It was pretty good.
Like it was.
I think it's the same as her Strife theme with her mom, although I don't know if we've heard that yet.
I don't think so.
But, she gets a Strife with her mom. It's pretty expected.
She, like, snuck by her mom in the haunted house.
Was the youth role? No, the youth role is later. We'll talk about the youth role. Huh? Wizards. Wizards are fucking everywhere.
Wizards, man. She loves wizards. Her mom fucks with wizards.
I do want to point out that they go a lot into, like, their mom's passive aggressiveness, like the fact that she throws wizards around, like pretending to like them, to like make Rose annoyed, right? And like this is a great point to talk about wizards.rar. When trying to make Rose's house, Hussey downloaded a folder of images that was just wizards.rar, which immediately gave his computer a virus. This is exactly what happened. Wizards.rar just beautiful, absolutely fucking beautiful. There's so many wizards. I love them. I want a wizard in my house. I just want a wizard just sitting fucking next to my like TV.
But you wouldn't have it ironically.
No, that would be completely unironic. I just want a big fucking wizard statue in my house. I think that'd be really tacky to like have a big big statues in your house. Like there's a Warhammer store that's somewhere I fucking forgot that has like a giant fucking space marine like in it that is awesome. Could you imagine just owning that? Just having that in your house?
The fucking 9-foot space marine just chilling in your crib.
It'd be so fucking tacky. In my house, that would take up so much space. Like
you'd always be in the corner, just standing over.
In the corner, just like a fucking 5 feet by 5 feet like floor space that is now just a space marine. That it's like I have to find a place for this now. I could have put a shelf there. I could have had a useful thing there, but instead I have fucking Johnny English of the Salamander Space Marine chapter chilling in the corner of my fucking room. Yeah, she manages to get up to the observatory. She places her laptop upon her grimoire for extra height.
Yeah, she needs every advantage.
I do want to point out something as well. Early on with her, one of the commands was to allocate your grimoire to the Strife Specialist, and she says, "You don't want to play with dangerous powers."
It is a grimoire. Those are known for being pretty high-level magic.
I mean, I think it's mostly just like an encyclopedia of like different Cthulhus. Yeah, it's just like, look at that Cthulhu. That's a cool Cthulhu. That's a different Cthulhu. That's also scary and cool as fuck. That's mostly what it is. It's just like a Wikipedia entry. It's like a book. But I do want to point out that both of these kids now have these massive fucking like tomes that they carry around with them, and hers is like the fucking like demons and horrors of the under like world, and John's like, here's how to do like a cool practical joke on your friends. Here's how to like wave a pencil in a way to like make it look bendy to your friends. That'd be so cool. Wouldn't that be awesome?
And hers is like how to eviscerate your enemies by summoning a demon.
Yeah, how to summon demon gods to like do your bidding. Let's not fuck around. Let's not beat around the bush anymore. John, take a bite of the apple. 40 seconds of beautiful fucking shit. Oh my god. He's fucking standing there. Hussey's animation style is so good. It's so distinct. He's fucking standing there, and he's like lit by the just impending impact of the asteroid like coming towards him, and it looks so like frenetic. It's so fucking cool. And he's sitting there, and he's gonna fucking take a bite of that apple, and the music is the same melody as Suburban Jungle, the song that plays on the world's coolest fucking loading screen.
Oh yeah, that loading screen slapped.
That song fucks. I love it. It's one of the best in the whole comic. Michael Guy Bowman did make that one. I know that for certain, and it's ooh.
That was for sure my favorite song of part one. Was just that loading screen.
Great. It's a classic. It's one of those that's kind of like lived through the whole comic as like, wow, this is like one of the best songs in Homestuck. It's very good. I wish Showtime got that love and appreciation.
It is a good track.
It's a great fucking chiptune. But Suburban Jungle is a classic. And a Suburban Countdown, the variation that plays during John fucking eating the apple. It's the same melody. And John, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, I don't know if he ate the apple. I just know he was holding it.
Killed by the meteor?
And then there was big explosions and then curtain call.
I don't know. Fucking next time on Dragon Ball Z, fucking tune in next week to figure out what happened to John Egbert. Did he fucking die? Did his whole family die? The world is fucking over,
yeah,
bro.
Everyone's dead.
There's so many.
The next 6 parts are just
Thinking
blank
about the fact
pages.
That in that giant zoom out of his neighborhood, like those are all houses. Like they're all families that live there.
Those are all people.
They're all fucking dead.
For sure got eviscerated by that meteor.
All fucking dead. And they just don't want to think about that. It's fine. You know, whatever. It's cool.
I felt like I heard the like JoJo To Be Continued track as the curtains closed. I was like, what? You're telling me the world blows up and then that's it? We're not gonna...
How fucking hype is this animation? It's so cool.
Yeah, it's a really well done for like, I just didn't expect it. Most of it being on MS Paint, it like has that like natural roughness to it.
He used to draw these comics in MS Paint, but now there's not. I believe that Homestuck is like entirely done in Photoshop.
Okay.
Yeah, so he can export to GIFs, he can do these big animations.
But
I think he animates in Flash.
It still has that like MS Paint feel to it.
Exactly, yeah.
Like he's all harking back to that.
Oh, it's so good. It's so fucking good. Hussey is an absolute genius, and I love his art style and his animation style and the way it all comes together in the music. It's such a distinct aesthetic and feel that is so good, and it would be a shame if there were just like a bunch of guest artists later on in the comic that like really break up the cohesive feel of the whole thing. That'd be weird. That'd be a little weird, wouldn't it?
We agree
that would be a little odd. Yeah, just throwing that out there. Anyway, forget I said that.
This is very, very out of place. Like all of a sudden they're like 3D models or something.
Like, it's interesting you say that. The Homestuck video game, Hive Swap, was originally going to be a 3D game. There are trailers of it still that exist where it's all in 3D. And thank fucking God they ditched that because the game looks gorgeous now. Closing thoughts on Homestuck so far. You just kind of the overall experience. What are you thinking?
Okay, Act 1, it has been a very hectic and wild ride. I went in thinking, man, I don't know what to expect. And then after finishing Act 1, I'm like, yeah, no, I still have no idea what could be happening in the future. If I had to guess what's to come, I assume he ate the apple, because if he just gets hit by a meteor, what happens to those other 6 parts?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet.
I'm just very curious on what effect that'll have. I'm guessing he'll get like sucked into the next level of Spurb, or Rose will click Control-Alt-Delete on the meteor. I don't know.
Rose selects the meteor, puts it in the recycle bin.
Wait, this is what you were worried about? Okay, it's fine.
Just take that out. It's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it.
And that's not even a problem anymore.
Yeah, although I think did they show in this that there is like a range for like the Spurb cursor?
Yeah, it's like a certain amount of distance away from him. So like,
imagine how fast that meteor is traveling. She would have to frame perfect grab it like when it's in range for John. I think at that point you would just burn to death.
Yeah, like
I don't know if there's any way for Rose to do that.
I seriously doubt it.
Also, think about how much build grist that would cost.
Oh god, probably way more than they have.
So many fruit gushers it would take to delete the meteor on impact.
But they show the explosion, so like I assume they that it landed, like it made.
It did land.
Groundfall.
Yeah, It's just unclear if John is still there or not. But you are correct. The story kind of doesn't go anywhere if John dies. So,
so like he's got to do
But I
something.
do want to point out, Huzzy does have a reputation for just killing characters. So like at the time of this coming out, it was very possible for this to end with just John being fucking dead. Like he could have done that.
Yeah.
Homestuck and like MSPA does have a reputation early on for being like pretty fucking ruthless. They'll just kill people. Just fucking kill characters in Homestuck.
Noted. That would have been really interesting. Honestly, that would have been the last thing I expected.
So just keep that in mind. Like that is on the table. Like character death is here.
Do characters die in Homestuck?
Yes. Characters also come back to life a lot in Homestuck. And then that process is repeated for the same characters over and over again. Some of the powers in Homestuck get so fucking crazy.
We haven't even gotten the superpowers yet.
No, they haven't got the superpowers yet, but they will. Let's talk about some fucking superpowers. It'll be fucking sick. It'll be cool. I want to play Suburb. I want to be Suburb. I want Suburb to be my own life. Hey, my fucking closing statements here, Your Honor. Homestuck is such a unique fucking experience that could not exist except through the medium of the internet. I know this because hold on. Fucking... Because I have with me right now Homestuck's Act 1, 2, 3, and Intermission in book form. And these books are great, and I like them, and they have a lot of cool commentary from Andrew Hussey, but there's a reason why I'm not using them for these early stages of reading the comic. Because reading it in a digital format is so definitive, it is so unique, it has such a cool style to it that it sinks its teeth in you. Within the first like 10 pages, it grabs you by the balls, and it's like, you wanna read more. You do. You want to see what's going on.
There's a couple more pages.
It's so tantalizing. It dangles in front of you the mystery, but in a way that I find so entertaining and so captivating, instead of in other pieces of media where I just find it annoying and like a waste of time. It is so wondrous and whimsical in all the right places, and I fucking love it. Enough to read 8,000 pages of it like 4 times. It is such a beautiful piece of work that Hussey has crafted, even in this opening act, which people consider to be the slow part of Homestuck. And I do want to talk about that. People will talk about how Act 1 is like, not much happens in Act 1, and I disagree, especially after rereading it twice. Act 1 is dense with characterization, and, John is in the fucking game already after like 200 pages or so, and these are like pretty short pages. Every single thing that is happening, you're learning about John, you're learning about Rose, you're learning about whoever turned to Godhead and Garden Gnostic and end up being less Garden Gnostic for now, but she does show up more later.
Yeah, right now she doesn't she really fucks with John.
She has like a couple conversations, but she's not that important right now. But you're learning about all these people, you're learning about the world they live in, and it creates the moment-to-moment experience of reading. It's so fucking entertaining, and it's a really special thing that I think people should go back and reread. And this is where I would like to throw in a little bit of a warning on a reread on the earliest parts of Homestuck, because standards for, what is okay to say have changed over time, obviously. And this was written in 2009. This was written like 14 years ago. If you are someone who is pretty touchy about like ableist stuff, John and his buddies do use a certain R slur quite a bit. However, if you're reading on the unofficial Homestuck collection like we are, I do believe there is I don't know exactly where to get it, but you should be able to look it up. I think it is something called like the Homestuck Slur Replacement Project. It is like they just replace all of, any like ableist slurs from like back. So I just wanted you to know, if you're someone who it does like upset you, that is an option you have, and that should not stop you from experiencing this piece of work, because it is worth your time and it is worth the effort trying to figure out like mods and whatever, because it is something legitimately special, and it's so great. Yeah, and I like it.
It's a very interesting ride. I think it's very worthwhile.
It's super fucking fun. That's all I got.
All right. Well, see you next week, Grubsters.
Hey, yeah, Grub. What are we calling our audience? Grub Army. What's going on? Grub Army.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. I like little grubbies.
Little grubbies.
Little grubbies. What's going on, grubbies?
All right, little grubbies.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. I am Molten. You can find me on Twitter at MoltenBoyo. And you can also find us on Twitter at TheGrubbyCast on Twitter. You can find the GrubCast Twitter. Our YouTube at GrubCast. I have a Patreon set up for GrubCast. It's just patreon.com/GrubCast. Fuck, I don't remember. I'll figure it out. I'll put all of the shit in the description. ET, you have anything to shout out?
I don't really have anything, but like, Mom, if you're not listening to this, but if you are, I love you. You're cool.
Shout out your fucking music. You dumbass.
Oh yeah, I make music occasionally. If you guys like,
very occasionally.
If you like nerdy rap music or just like looking to see what this nerd's about, I'll put links in the bio in the
links in the. Oh, fuck you. All right, see you guys. Fucking next week. Bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, it's me, Molten, here at the end of the whole recording. Wow, what a great episode of the podcast that you just listened to. How's everybody doing? That's a rhetorical question. You can't answer me. I am not there. Have fun. Anyway, I realized that during the recording, I did not tell you which pages were supposed to come next. Silly me. What a fucking idiot I am. I'm gonna fix that right now. For the next episode, if you want to stay caught up, you should read through pages 248 through 758. We're gonna read a lot of pages because we're gonna go through the entirety of Act 2 for the next podcast. Don't worry, you can read that much. You're a big boy. I trust you. And we'll see you there, little grublets. Yeah, we'll go with grublets. Why the fuck not? Anyway, bye.